which is a bit problematic because it could mean that you need to look a certain way in order to wear a bikini, when in fact that isn't the case. Welcome to another video. So today I wanted to try something slightly differently, and that is I wanted to review and give my opinion on workouts that are out there and published by other content creators, magazines, etc. I wanted to try this format because of two reasons actually. The first one is that I'm moving houses very soon, so I am all caught up in organizing everything and packing my stuff, etc. And secondly, I think these review videos can actually teach you something in a very applied manner because it's not abstract science that we're talking about. And so yeah, if you like this type of video, then please let me know by liking this video and leaving a comment down below what your opinion is on that style of video. But without any further ado, let's get started. For this video, I actually planned to review one of the workouts in the most recent Women's Health magazine, because although everything goes digital and everything's on social media, the Women's Health magazine is still a big player in the fitness industry, and it always has been. Back in the day, when social media wasn't a thing yet, I would religiously buy the Women's Health magazine. And this was basically my only source of information about fitness, exercise, and nutrition. And I did quite a lot of things wrong. You could say. So that's why I thought after this many years I want to buy another Women's Health magazine and see how they're doing things nowadays and whether they're pushing out good advice, bad advice, etc. Here it is, the newest edition, so the June 2022 edition of the Women's Health magazine. And yes, it is in German, but I will translate everything that I'm going to talk about, so don't worry if you're not a native speaker. There are actually several different workouts in this edition of the Women's Health magazine, but I specifically want to focus on this one. So this workout promises sort of that you get fit and in shape for summer, and that your bikini body that you get from it will last beyond summer as well. And I think that is quite a bold claim to make. So let's have a look if they can actually deliver. And before the actual workout, they have this small section about the workout itself, what you can expect, how you should do the workout, etc. And I really appreciate that they're doing this, because oftentimes you just have a random workout on social media without any context, so you don't know what this workout is designed for, if it's designed for building muscle mass, getting stronger, if it's more focused on balance, agility, etc. So I really like that they have some background info about the workout in these few paragraphs before they actually get into the workout itself. And I thought, because this is a workout review, I wanted to have a look at what they are writing as well. And I think they are actually starting off pretty strong, because this workout is designed to get you in shape for bikini season, which is a bit problematic because it could mean that you need to look a certain way in order to wear a bikini, when in fact that isn't the case. Anyone can wear a bikini if they want to. So whether you're allowed to wear a bikini is not dependent on your physique. And they actually talk about this in this article as well, that we should accept that bodies just look differently, and that being in shape doesn't necessarily have anything to do with having visible abs. And I think that is a really good message to have, because of course being obese isn't healthy, but being too lean or being underweight isn't healthy either. So to be in shape and to be fit, you don't need to look like a fitness model, because actually oftentimes these fitness models aren't really healthy or fit themselves. To maintain such a lean physique year round, they might have to starve themselves, they might suffer from eating disorders and body dysmorphia, they might not sleep and recover enough. So just because someone is lean doesn't automatically mean that they're healthy. What is a bit maybe more questionable, or what we need to have a closer look at, is the next statement, which is that it works no matter if you want to lose 2 kilos, 5 kilos, or even more, or if you just want to become strong. stronger. And to judge whether this workout routine actually does these two things, we'll need to have a look at the workout itself. So it's a 15-minute full body workout that you're supposed to do 3 times a week, and it includes exercises with dumbbells and also body weight exercises. So it's very much a resistance-based training program. On top of that, they also recommend 30 to 60 minutes of light cardio, such as walking every day. And I think overall this is actually a good suggestion, because if it were only the 15-minute workout, I'd be very skeptical, because there's only so much that you can achieve within 15 minutes. Of course, doing something is always better than doing nothing. And if these 15 minutes are all you can do, then by all means go for it and do it. However, you can't expect to burn a lot of calories within 15 minutes of strength training. So it's maybe not that effective for fat loss. And also with such a short workout, I'm not so sure how much muscle mass you can actually build within these 15 minutes. And that very much depends then on the workout itself and how these 15 minutes are structured, which we'll get to later. But they paired it with the cardio aspect, and I think that makes a good mix, because ultimately whether you lose weight or not really comes down to calories in versus calories out. And if you want to lose weight, then you need to be in a caloric deficit, meaning that you eat less calories than you burn. Most people will do some form of cardio to increase their calorie expenditure, so they burn more calories and thus create this deficit. However, I also like that they added resistance training to it, because strength training is a very valuable but underrated tool when it comes to weight loss. When you build more muscle mass, you will automatically burn more calories even at rest. And therefore, having a lot of muscle can actually help you as well to create this caloric deficit. But also, of course, diet has to be aligned too. Just because you're doing cardio or resistance training, or even both of them, doesn't mean that you can just eat anything. That's also something you have to keep an eye on. Speaking about the workout itself, they suggest that you shouldn't work out on 2 consecutive days to allow your muscles to recover. And I think that is a really good tip, because the workout itself will trigger muscle growth. However, the actual muscle growth will happen during your rest periods. And that's the very reason why you should leave at least 48 hours between training the same muscle group again. And probably the last thing I'm going to cover within this background info section is what they are saying about training intensity. Basically, they're saying that it doesn't matter which pair of dumbbells that you use, but you should choose a weight that is challenging and that you can hardly do the indicated rep count with, so that you're really beginning to struggle towards the end of each set. And I think this is again good advice, because they're not explicitly saying it, but what they're hinting at is training close to failure. And this is probably the most important exercise variable when it comes to muscle growth, because your body doesn't care what weight you lift. It doesn't know whether this is 5 kilos or 10 kilos, but it does know when it's close to giving out, because it can't do any reps anymore. Also, they hint at progressive overload as well by telling you that if it feels easy, then you should also try and push your boundaries and do another rep or 2. And that is essential, because your body will adapt, it will build muscle mass, it will get stronger. So at some point, doing the same number of reps with the same weight will not be challenging anymore. And then you have several options how you can go about this. For example, you add weight, or as they suggest, you do more reps. And so I really like to see this kind of information and this kind of advice here. But having covered all this now, let's go to the actual workout, because we've just talked about it, but not about it, if that makes sense. So you have 3 circuits with 4 exercises each, making 12 exercises in total. And the way you should do this workout is as follows. So you do all exercises from the first circuit back to back without any breaks in between. And then you repeat these 4 exercises over and over again for a total of 5 minutes. And after these 5 minutes are up, you do the same thing with circuit 2 and then circuit 3. And I kind of understand why they're doing this circuit training without any breaks in between. It's time efficient, but it's not necessarily effective if you want to build muscle mass. And the reason is taking a break of at least a minute between sets or exercises allows your muscles to recover, and therefore you can lift the same weight for the same number of reps during your next set of that exercise. And so then objectively your output is higher. Whereas if you don't take any breaks, you will likely get fatigued, and the number of reps that you can do or the time within which you're doing them will slow down. And so it's actually not as effective for muscle growth, even though it feels a lot harder. And on top of that muscle building aspect, I don't see the need to push through the workout to keep your heart rate elevated because you have the cardio already somewhere else. And also in terms of exercises, you have 12 exercises in total, but given that the total workout time is only 15 minutes, you will probably do each exercise maybe once or twice, which is probably not enough volume to effectively build muscle mass. But after we know how the workout is structured, how it actually looks like, let's look at the exercises themselves. So in the first circuit, you have 4 exercises, which are the squat to shoulder press, a lunge to biceps curl, then you also have a plank with a rowing motion, and you have a hammer curl to shoulder press. And all of these exercises are combo exercises or 2-in-1 exercises, because you basically mash 2 different exercises together into one movement. And I do understand again why they did it. It's more time efficient. However, it's also less effective when you want to build muscle mass. Let's take the lunge into biceps curl as an example. When you pick a weight that is challenging for your biceps, your legs will probably not be challenged at all, because the muscles in your lower body are generally stronger and bigger. Therefore, they need much higher loads or more weight to be properly stimulated. And to give you a bit of a personal example, on a good day, I managed to do biceps curl with the 20 kilo bar, and that is really challenging for me. However, I just recently upgraded my lunges to 50 kilograms. So if I choose a weight, so 20 kilos, that is challenging for my biceps, then my legs will feel like I'm just warming up. And that's why I really don't like these 2-in-1 exercises, because you will train one muscle group very effectively, but the other one will probably be left behind. That's why I would do all these exercises individually, because they're actually very good exercises and effective exercises if you load them appropriately. So then the exercises in circuit 2 are very much shoulder based. So we have a front raise, we have side delt raises, we have rear delt flies, and shoulder presses or overhead presses. And that's a lot of volume for your shoulders right there. So the exercises per se are good, maybe except for the front raises, because the front raises target your front delts, so this front part of the shoulder, and you already train this part of the shoulder when you do overhead presses. And you have such a shoulder pressing movement already twice in the first circuit, and you also have this shoulder press at the end of circuit 2, and that makes the front raises obsolete. The side raises and the rear delt flies are pretty solid exercises, and I also love that they included the rear delt flies, because that's often an area that gets easily neglected. The last one is the overhead press or shoulder press, and while I think this is a good exercise per se, it is probably unnecessary to include here, because you already do shoulder presses twice in the first circuit. So the last circuit, so circuit 3, again has 4 exercises, which are bicycle crunches, Batman, which is kind of a lower back exercise. You have regular crunches and split jumps, or what others would call a jumping lunge. And the crunch and the bicycle crunches are 2 very effective movements for training your abs. However, I think you could do with only 1 crunch variation in this workout. The Batman very much targets your lower back muscles, so your spinal erectors. And although this is not necessarily a bad exercise, I would say this exercise is probably not necessary because for most people, the spinal erectors, so your lower back muscles, are already sufficiently trained if you do exercises like weighted squats or lunges. And you have these two exercises in this workout, so I don't see the need to specifically train your lower back as well. Then we're left with the last exercise in this whole workout, which are the split jumps or jumping lunges. If you think that this is a muscle building workout, they're not hugely effective, but rather they're probably here to elevate your heart rate and maybe burn some extra calories. However, if this is the reason, so burning extra calories, I again think that they're probably a bit unnecessary, because given that you'll do this exercise maybe once or twice, the additional calorie expenditure from that exercise is not going to be very high. It's maybe 10 or 20 calories. Plus, you already do cardio separately from that workout, and that's why I would probably replace them with a weighted lunge, which will be much more effective for building your quads and glutes. Alright, so in conclusion, I think this workout is not ideal when you're looking to build muscle mass. And I also think that this workout is very much biased towards your shoulders and your abs. To be honest, the volume for your shoulders is a bit excessive. And this is especially bad because they try to fit in all this shoulder work at the expense of other muscle groups. So for example, you only train your triceps, so this muscle right here, and your chest muscles when doing all these shoulder pressing movements, but maybe you could also incorporate chest focus exercise such as a dumbbell chest press. Maybe you could also incorporate an isolation exercise for your triceps such as skull crushers. I also think that they might have neglected the muscles in your upper back, so the lats and traps a little bit, because you only have this one rowing movement, but I don't think that this is sufficient to hit all your upper back muscles effectively. And also the hamstrings are very much neglected in this workout because the only two leg exercises that you do are squats and lunges, which are both very effective for training your quads and your glutes, but not necessarily your hamstrings. And maybe you could include something like a dumbbell RDL in this workout to also target the back of your legs. So to improve this workout, I would probably make it a bit longer, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. I would improve exercise selection, so I would get rid of all the 2-in-1 exercises. I would also include exercises for your hamstrings, your chest, triceps, upper back in order to have a well-rounded training program. And to make room for these additional exercises, I would remove some of the others. What I would do as well is change the style of the exercise. So I wouldn't do a circuit training, but rather I would do every exercise one after the other and maybe do 2 or 3 sets for each exercise with a 1-minute break in between sets. But my overall resume is that I don't think this is a necessarily bad workout. I also like very much that they are promoting resistance training for weight loss. But the workout can be optimized and it is probably not as effective as they claim it is. But that was it for today's video. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video and if you would like to see more workout reviews, then leave me a like. And if you have a particular workout that you want me to review next, then leave a comment down below. Also subscribe to my channel so you're not gonna miss that next workout review. But until then, have a nice day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.